Hello and welcome to 108 Healing Senses podcast. My name is Jennifer Taylor and I am a visionary soul coach and deeply passionate about healing the inside and also creating your reality that you truly desire and want. So today I'm really happy to introduce Jonno from Spirit Release Academy. And he is acquaintances and colleagues with Andy Porter, which we've also had on before.
Hello.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming on. Could you tell the audience more about who you are, what your path's been up to this date, and yeah, I suppose what's your mission? What's your mission on Earth?
My mission on Earth. That's probably a question. I think if we start with that, my guide, White Hawk, will tell you that our mission is to teach as many people as we can and to get the practice out there with truth and with honor. I work as a psychic surgeon. White Hawk is my master guide. He is the one that inspires and teaches me. But in his words, if he teaches me how to do psychic surgery, that's great. If between us we teach 100 people, that's incredible. If we teach 1,000, it's even bigger. So the work that we do has taken 20 years of learning, over 20 years of learning. That's in psychic surgery or spirit release. And now, although I do work as a practitioner, I do psychic surgery, I do spirit release therapy, I do clearings, but a lot of his attention is on teaching, on wanting to get that level of standard out there into the big wide world. More and more people are becoming open to energy. More and more people are becoming sensitive to energy. They understand how energy can affect your etheric, your energetic body, your auric layers. And, there's many people now that appreciate that perhaps physical ailments and disease is created by emotion and trauma. So if we can treat the emotion and the trauma and rid that, we're then changing the frequency of the physical, which is then creating self-healing. So this all sort of goes back really to me in probably up until 2004 when I was just your average Joe. I worked in an office. I ran a business with 2 offices. I was extremely busy, extremely stressed, and I took a Reiki session one night to kind of de-stress. And I had Reiki. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the relaxation of it. And at the same time, there was interference in my house. It had been going on for a couple of years. My daughter came down at the same sort of time as I had my Reiki. Came down at 12:15 one night. She was just over 2, and she told me there was a little girl in her room. And we had huge disruptions in our house for a little bit, which is a story in itself. I tried to get the assistance of a crystal shop that was local to me, thinking that crystals would help the energy, or being told that crystals would help the energy. And then when it all kind of kicked off in the house, I went back and wanted bigger crystals because I thought that bigger crystals would help. Of course, we were talking about spiritual matters, and the medium then came to my assistance. When talking to the medium, she told me that she couldn't come to my house for 3 weeks to clear it because she was busy. I was the co-owner of a successful business. Money wasn't an option. And whatever I did to try and tempt her to come into the home and clear it, she just wasn't interested. She was she wasn't interested in the money. She had her bookings, and she said that she'd come and see me in 3 weeks, which kind of panics me a little bit. But the long and short of it is that just before we stopped talking on the phone, I asked her what the connection was. Was it the house or was it the children? And she said, "No, my sweetheart, the connection's you." She said, "In actual fact, I'm now being told by my guide that I'm not going to come and clear your home. You are. And you are the one that's going to put the little girl into the light, because you will have a way of talking to her, and she trusts you. And that was that, really. She told me how to do protection. She told me how to do it. The next day I did it. And I felt completely comfortable. I closed my eyes. I had huge anxiety, Jennifer. I had no idea what I was doing. I was up all night sleepless with the telly on. I couldn't sleep in the house. But as soon as I started doing it, I closed my eyes and I felt completely at home. Managed to get the little girl into the light. We managed to do that. I then started attending a spiritual development circle, and I started learning Reiki, not to be a practitioner, just to do it for myself, really, because I did have a stressful job and I wanted a break out of that. I started to attend Reiki shares. I started doing meditations, and I started to fall asleep during meditations. I didn't want to do Reiki 2, but I had a meditation one night, and as soon as I finished, I phoned my Reiki master and I said, I want to do Reiki 2. I want to start working with others. And I had no idea why I just said that. I didn't want to do it. It's not that I didn't want to do it, but I didn't have the inclination to do it. I was very busy with my business. But all of a sudden I was having this conversation. I now want to do Reiki 2, be a practitioner. So I started doing that. I started realizing that when I was working in Reiki, I was closing my eyes and I was falling asleep during the healing session. I was also falling asleep during the meditations with the Reiki master. I had no idea what was happening, and I was voiding out completely, to the point where my Reiki master started shouting at me in the Reiki share because I couldn't remember her meditation, and she took offense to that. I started realizing that what was happening, I was not in control of. I went back to the medium who originally helped me, and she took me into a development class where I started to learn the discipline of trance. And whenever I close my eyes in meditation, I automatically go into a trance condition. Through working with this medium, her name is Wendy, she became my mentor and my lifelong friend. I still talk to her nearly every week. We still message each other. And through sitting in circle with her, physical circles, trance circles, I met my guide, White Hawk. And through working with him, he changed the healing away from Reiki with hand positions into falling asleep during the healing session, and other work taking place, which we then became aware that it was psychic surgery that was going on. My clients changed from people that perhaps would just come because they wanted 40 minutes of rest. They wanted 40 minutes of de-stress. I then started having people with tumors, people with structural issues, people with brain issues, mental issues, and people with attachments. Through working the attachments, I then became proficient. I say I, but we're talking about them. I'm just the channel. They became very proficient at spirit release and clearing negative energies. I started working with people that had serious mental health issues, what society would call mental health, what we would call spiritual issues. I started clearing demonic energies, curses, witchcraft. And I came across a guy called Andy Porter. I moved up to Wiltshire, where I met Louise, who is now my wife. I moved up to Wiltshire to be with her. I saw an advert for a guy by the name of Andy Porter doing a psychic surgery demonstration. I thought, it'd be interesting, go along and see him. And I went to his demonstration. And as soon as I walked into the room, I knew that I would work with him. I knew that we would become friends. I knew that I would work with him. The thing with Andy and I is that we are both psychic surgeons. We both do spirit release therapy, and we both live in the immediate area, and we never conflict with each other. We never compete with each other. I help him, he helps me. If I can't help somebody, I'll send them to him, and he will likewise do the same to me. So it's a very big world out there. And the more people that do this and work together, the more holistic work will become apparent and will become used by people around the world. and there's billions of people in the world. There's not enough holistic practitioners. So that's kind of our collective view, really. So we both work together. But in that meeting with Andy, I didn't speak to him that night. I didn't feel that I needed to. I knew that I would have another chance to talk to him. But I did meet a guy by the name of Dr. Terence Palmer, who worked with Andy a lot on spirit release therapy. And between Andy's guide Chan, and Dr. Palmer, they put together their own protocol, which they developed over 10 to 11 years. I took Dr. Palmer's training and realized that all the work that I was doing was very similar, but it didn't have the protocol. It didn't have that thing that my work was missing. And instantly my work became easier to do, easier to conduct. It was safer for me, which then meant it was safer for my home and my family, my wife, my children and everything. And I started really getting into it. I really interested in it. I was fortunate enough to become one of Dr. Palmer's sort of regular mediums. He works regularly with perhaps 3 or 4 different mediums, Andy being one, myself being another. And then unfortunately, when Dr. Palmer died, there were a number of people that wanted to learn spirit release therapy the way that we did it. And I guess for about 12 months, we were in a void. Andy was doing his thing, I was doing my thing. We'd meet for a drink, we'd meet for a beer and a chat and a laugh. And then I suppose one day I had a hospital scan. In that scan, I don't remember what else happened. But the next thing I knew, I was being wheeled into a room where a consultant came in, called my wife in, and said that I desperately need an emergency operation. This was a Friday evening, and they were going to call in the senior consultant on the Saturday to do an emergency operation. Wow. And me being me, sort of just joked and said, well, perhaps there's another option. I think we can explore other avenues. And she basically said that if I don't have the operation on Saturday, I won't see Monday, which was quite a thing to hear.
It's quite a statement.
A statement, yeah. At that moment in time, I was completely drugged up. I don't really recall much of it. I think that my wife, Louise, bore the brunt of it because she had to deal with it mentally. And I was off my head. So I had the easier side of the experience, I think. Anyway, the next day I had the operation. The operation was successful. And when I was in intensive care, my guide, White Hawk, was constantly coming through, constantly talking to me, healing, giving me different experiences, which again was another story. But basically he was saying that I can't go back to my job. I can't go back to what I do. It will kill me. And I should have listened before when he told me that I needed to step away and do more spiritual work. And if I don't do it now, my life will end effectively. And I need to go to my spiritual work. So asking him what it was he exactly wanted me to do, and it was then that he said, this is about healing. This is about psychic surgery. This is about making people better and feeling better. It is about clearing people. It is about, making their energies change. Because if you heal one person, if you clear one person, you affect their family. You affect their workspace. If you heal one person, that ripples out. It's never about one person. It's all about the bigger picture. And White Hawk was then saying to me, what you do is great, but if we can get 100 people to do it, that's even better. We need to teach. We need to go into the teaching arena. So when I came out of hospital, I had a couple of chats with Andy. Things kind of seemed okay. We were just having a chat, and then I went online one night and I started looking at domain names. And I came up with Spirit Release Academy. And when I saw that, I instantly bought it. I phoned Andy, sent him a message and said, look at your WhatsApp. And he saw that And he was like, yeah, I'm in. So since then, we started doing the Spirit Release Academy. We teach people how to do spirit-guided remote spirit release, which is very safe, which is an evolved version of Dr. Palmer's protocol. It's a very, very safe protocol to work. Usually, if we say to people we do spirit release therapy, we do have people say to us, yep, I do that as well. And we all know that's great. We all know it's fantastic. Usually when other people do spirit release therapy, they talk about releasing discarnate spirits into the light. Well, we do that, but we do over 20 other levels as well. So it's a very, very thorough form of therapy. It's a very, very easy and very, very safe thing to do. We have practitioners who are hypnotists, QHHT level 3 practitioners. We have doctorates working, people with PhDs. We've got some well-known mediums working with us as well. And we now have approaching 100 students around the world. So we're very, very lucky. And as a kind of a brief answer to your question, is that's what I do. And that's how I got into it.
I'm glad. You know what, so many of the things you were saying was giving me goosebumps, like full like body goosey bump shivers, like it's very profound. And the work you do is so important. I've had sessions with Andy before when I was going through it, and I needed some help and assistance because I didn't know how to do it myself properly. And sometimes if you're in a really low state, your vibration is really low, and like depression, anxiety, and it's easy for things to attach. And it's knowing the right people who can actually do it and do it in an affordable way as well. I know you've got your teaching aspect too, which is separate as to like receiving it, but that, you know, both so profound and so important in these days that are high with energy, and lots of people don't really know how to manage their own emotions or their own energies and their own baggage and whatever they're carrying as well. So it is really important to have awareness on how to clear yourself and how to protect and clear others and your home space and the land and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think everything you said is absolutely bang on the nail. I think the thing is, well, as we all know, every single thing in the universe is energy. Everything is energy. It just vibrates at a different frequency. And that means that we have liquid, we have solids, we have you, we have myself, we have the screens that we're looking on and everything else. But essentially, we are all the same. We're made of the same particles. We're made of the same molecules. And as soon as we experience trauma, as soon as we have things in life that give us a bit of a shake-up, our auric field, our outer etheric protection layers become a little bit more vulnerable. And this is where we are open to either external energy, or the other thing, of course, is that if we are experiencing trauma, things that happen in our lives, that can build and manifest energy within our body, stale energy, blockages, and those stale energy and blockages therefore become dis-ease. And that's how we we get those illnesses as well. So very often when I'm working in psychic surgery, if we have someone, say, who's got a bad knee, the psychic surgery team, I work with White Hawk, my guide, and 2 surgeons. Very often White Hawk will work the emotion within the heart, and he will work the balance of the emotion being carried in the shoulders. The surgical team will start looking down the spine to see how that energy is being carried, and if that is forming any disbalance. If that is forming disbalance, that could knock out the pelvic area. If the pelvic area is then balanced, we don't even need to look at the knee. So a lot of physical ailments are based on emotion, are based on vibration. And if you work the energy and heal the energy, you haven't got to heal the physical, because a healed energy will automatically physically change. So therefore, it's a much easier way of, and much more effective way of creating that healing environment. And I think one of the things at the moment is that people are becoming awake to the energies around the world. There is a huge low vibrational energy around the world at the moment. There's lots of conflict. There's lots of things happening at the moment that other people, we would call them awake. People are waking up to. People are seeing other options. People are seeing alternative methods, complementary methods that don't involve medication. They don't involve going into an institution.
Not invasive in any respect.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And even the male sector, you know, I've been involved in this work for over 20 years now. And it is a female dominant industry. It is a female dominant sector, but we are seeing more and more men coming out and being receptive to alternative therapy, to complementary therapy, to going and seeing somebody who perhaps has a screen with a rainbow behind them that can help them, that can help ease that pressure, that can just take away that emotion and support that trauma that they've had. And that alone is going to create a physical positive difference. Whether we go into psychic surgery, whether we go into healing, whether we go into spirit clearings or not, just that alone is going to create a positive vibration. And therefore, that person is now going to be in a better situation and a better feeling going forward, enabling self-healing. So this is a massive step forward, I think, for the world. The children coming through at the moment are amazing. White Hawk says to me that, well, one of the reasons why he works with me, I work in trance. I'm a trance medium with him. And he says to be a trance medium, you need to be good at doing nothing. And the reason why he works with me is because I'm very good at doing nothing. So he has a really clear channel when he comes through me. And he's very clear that sort of my generation, people of my age, it's our job to protect and give the children and the younger generation coming through that support and protection that perhaps when I was young, we wouldn't have got because it was a different world. You know, although part of it is still a little bit iffy, it's kind of our job to make it acceptable. And to help people and let them understand and have confidence that there is an alternative out there and it doesn't involve chemicals.
I certainly, and I totally 100% aligned with protecting the future generations to come, because I look at the kids these days and I look at teenagers and those, you know, they've been through what has been going on the last 5 years, and it has made a dent on them. I can see it. It's like they're quieter, they're more sensitive, very sensitive, but there's this like real introversion I see in a lot of them, and the confidence part and being able to support them when their gifts are here. So it's not to say, oh, you've just got an imaginary friend. It's like, no, they're speaking to their love team. I call them the love team, guides, whomever it might be, ancestors or other. But I always say love team. So, but we can look at the kids and see, no, they're so tapped in, especially the teeny tiny ones. But as they get older, and there's more conditions, and there's more environmental boundaries, and that are upon them, and on the phones as well, you can see, you know, they really need our support actually. So we're the ones that have gone through the crap. we've been able to transform ourselves, like the phoenix from the fire, and now we're able to support those that
I think absolutely right. Yeah, I think the younger generations, they have got a lot to say. I think they've got a lot of emotion. I think they're more sensitive to their emotions, certainly than my generation growing up, particularly from a male point of view. And they've been suppressed. You know, I don't want to go into that whole COVID thing, but you know, their mouths were covered, their mouths were stopped, and these are kids coming through that had a lot to say. They've got a lot to express, a lot to learn, and a lot to give once those lessons have been learned. And I think the repression hasn't helped that generation in any way. And I've seen the difference in my son. I've seen the difference in my daughter. And I would like to think that they're now coming out the other end, and they're now becoming more expressive in themselves and having the confidence to be expressive and expressing their opinions and thoughts and their own spirituality the way that they understand it. And certainly, I think that the more and more kids around that generation come out the other end and start being confident about who they are, why they're here. You know, what White Hawk, you know, people come to me for psychic surgery on something that would be called like special needs. And White Hawk won't agree. He won't agree they have special needs. They have additional needs. And they have a specialism. Yeah, they have a specialism that is yet to be understood. And really, it's our job as parents to work with them and not repress them and bring them into their specialist areas where they will do amazing. We all know that there are people out there with additional needs, special needs, however you describe it. And yet some of the work they can do is phenomenal. So they're like it for a reason. They have that skill set for a reason. Understand it, let them express it, let them bring it into the world, because the chances are it's going to do a huge amount of good. And then we have sort of light overcoming dark again, don't we? So it's a hugely important thing.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day, actually, how that hyper focus, and everyone seems to be labeled with like ADHD or autism. I've never been diagnosed, but I know I am, and my family is. But it's interesting how great you've got the label. Now, what are you going to do with it? For me, I'm like, labels can be useful because they can signpost as to, okay, it gives further understanding as to why I feel the way I feel, why I act the way I act, and actually what my strengths are. And I feel like with all these labels, and I've heard it with young souls, you know, they come out of uni and they're like, you know, they're kind of self-deprecating. Oh, because I've got dyslexia. Or, oh, because I've got like learning challenges. Like, you know, you can already see it. Like they've already just pushed themselves down a notch. And I'm like, get rid of the labels and just do what you love. And there's a reason why we hyper focus. It's because you're really good at that thing. So
absolutely
follow that thing and keep doing it, and like you will just be the most absolute beautiful creative genius that you are, unique creative genius. And that's what the world needs right now. We need that, people stepping into the creative genius without self-judgment of self or others, actually. That comparison, that competition, like I see that over time just being washed away, because everyone's just doing what they're meant to be doing here, and there is no competition or comparing, because everyone's just doing their unique path. They're living it.
And if we all just did it, life would be a lot better, wouldn't it? I think one of the things with labeling is that people would take a label like that and think that it's a burden. Yeah. I think a label like that could be flipped and could make you exceptional. So you can come out of uni, you can have whatever qualification or degree that you have. You might not know where your path is going to take you, but if you come out shouting and saying, I've got autism and I'm going to change the world, and put that positive spin on it, you're going to do amazing things, because there are people with autism that are incredible, absolutely incredible. And we need to support those people. We need to give them the support they require, and also the protection, and take away that heaviness of, you know, it's not a negative label. You know, it's a label that perhaps helps everybody else understand the way that your mind may work. But also there are people around you that will think, who gives an absolute flying?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to do some great stuff, and I'm going to help you get there, you know, and that's what we need in the world, really.
Absolutely. I don't know if it's just the point I am on my journey. It's like I just don't really care about things that aren't creative or constructive or productive, because it's like all I see is if people are stuck, it literally is, they're just stuck. Their energy is stuck, their thought thought forms are stuck, their consciousness is stuck in a box of, oh, well, I'm in this now. It's like, no, you could just get that box, just chuck it, and then just start living. And don't allow labels to stop you from trying in life and doing what you're meant to be here to do. That's what gives me fire in my belly to help the younger generation. It's because I remember when I was in school, I was like, oh, I worked so hard. There were some things I did excel at, but that was mostly towards the end. But I always kind of get around like between maybe an odd B, but it'd be like C's and D's, and it would make me feel pants. You know, you try so hard, but now I know the things that I'm good at. I still push myself in the areas that are challenging, but I know will be good on the other side to overcome. I need to learn certain things for my business, for my growth. So it's also knowing what you do well, follow that, and also knowing what you would be good to learn to help you in other areas to complement what you're doing. And that's where the growth is. You go where it's easy flow, and then also know that I've identified there are areas, and it could even be like have better communication with your family and yourself. Like don't be so reactive when things happen, and find ways and methods to feel that inner peace or be able to regulate your nervous system. I know it's different for kids and teenagers, and I mean even adults, but especially when they're young, their brain chemistry is different and they're still forming things. But it's like, how can we all best support each other's nervous systems, and how can we all best support each other to live our destiny, to live our dreams and get them into reality, rather than just being, you know, a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think going through the education system, instead of giving disruptive kids detentions, maybe give them meditations, maybe give them something energetic to learn, maybe give them something where they can understand why they're disruptive. Because a disruptive mind is not necessarily disruptive. It's probably very creative, and it's just working within the boundaries of the school ethics. So as soon as you sort of understand that, and if the child can understand the way that their mind works, I think psychic protection is hugely important for everybody in a way. But the young coming through, the way they understand energy now, more sensitive, I think psychic protection is very, very important for them, so that they can understand their energy vibration, and so that they can learn the very basics of protecting it and clearing it. And one of the things that we sort of see in our work is that there are a lot of people that say you can clear yourself, and to a degree, we agree, to a degree. You can bring light into your energy, you can dispel negativity. But if you're dealing with something that has an intelligence, and then I don't agree. I think as soon as your mind and your vision and your auditory understanding is altered by an intelligent energy within your fields, you have no way of being able to cleanse it, because you have an intelligent interference that doesn't want to be cleansed. So therefore the information you're getting can't be trusted.
And it sounds like your own voice. That's the learning to discern, and it takes time. It's the learning to know what is your inner voice and what is an interference which isn't you, but may come through in your tone in your head. And I know I definitely experienced that when I was going through some quite some dark times in my life. And but I just knew innately in myself, I was like, I know there's something that I can't shake, and it's not me. But I just knew that something wasn't quite right, and I was seeking external support to, and that was where I found Andy, and that was in 2020 actually. So, I'm so appreciative.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because I think learning discernment is a process. It can take a time to learn it properly. And I would say you're very lucky if you were at the stage where you could understand yourself, that you had something that you couldn't quite shake yourself, and then you saw a third party. I think that's a very lucky position to be in, the majority of people accept that they are okay because their mind is telling them they're okay, even though something could be in control of that thought process going through the mind. So I think having somebody around you who can look in from the outside, working spiritually, working for your very best intention to get that clearing done is hugely important. Probably one of the strongest examples I can give is I was phoned on sort of a Sunday morning. I think it was about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I had a mother on the phone. She was crying. Well, she was quite hysterical. She was hysterical, and she was saying that her 21 daughter hasn't slept for 3 nights and is currently rocking backwards and forwards on her chair, speaking in different languages, shouting and swearing. Whoa. So I was like, right, okay, we need to see where this come from. She said she did a Ouija board a week ago at a party. And since the Ouija board, everything has changed. The local spiritual church came round. They said that she's demonically possessed. And with that, they walked out and didn't tell anything else, didn't say anything else. They left her as it was. And I was like, Jesus, okay, that's not really the reaction I think you should have got. But anyway, we can now help. So being able to help that situation, and then probably a couple of hours later, I had a phone call from the mother again. And this time she was in tears, but this time she was happy because she got her daughter back. So having somebody out there who is a third party, who has a strong spirit team, being able to work in this, I think is invaluable because the energy is everywhere. You know, we've only got to go around Sainsbury's, Tesco's or Walmart and realize that thousands upon thousands of people have walked through that same exit, same entrance within the last week, and it's never, ever energetically cleansed. So protection is a very, very big thing because it can lead to a whole host of emotional issues, traumatic issues, attachments, physical issues. And as myself and Andy say in the academy, none of what we do is about scaremongering. It's about getting people to open their eyes and see. And then also seeing how easy it is to protect, how easy it is to look after your energy, and how easy it is to make a difference. And that is powerful once you start to understand that.
I agree. And I tell you what, the position I was in 2020, I had already been doing energetic, like meditations and things like that for a few years. But what I had found is that I was not equipped with how can I clear myself? And also when I started looking around to find someone that could help clear what was then, astronomical prices, like three figures and large, you know, large and in charge kind of. And I'm like, it really becomes a challenge for those that desperately need it. So yeah, I'm so happy I found Andy, and I'm so happy I kept in contact as well. And because the work that you're doing and you're training others so they can also help, because it's such an important key knowledge and teachings that we all had, but it all kind of got forgotten. It was all, oh no, it's just, you know, it's just all made up, but it's not, because if you walk into a room, either someone's there or someone's not. You're like, I don't like the feeling in this space, or you know, you're picking up on other people's emotions. And if your etheric field has got holes, or if you're in a vulnerable state, then you can start picking up other people's rubbish. You know, you come away from a meeting and you're just absolutely drained or depressed or anxious, or you know, all the things that people might be like, oh, it's just, you know, they're flippant about it, but it's not. It's the small things that add up to the big things.
I completely agree. I personally think that everybody is psychic. It's just whether or not they know it and whether or not they understand it. Being psychic just means that you can understand energetic messages. So like you say, you know, if you walk into a room and you don't like the atmosphere there, you know it. The hairs on the back of your neck go up. You can meet somebody for the very first time and you know that they're going to be a very good friend to you. Or likewise, you can meet somebody for the first time and you know that person is somebody you're going to keep your distance from. You don't really know why, but you just have that feeling. as well as the fact that, that there are phrases that are out there. If you're the sort of person that others go to because they want to express their sorrow, if they're angry about something, they might come to you for a chat. They might just come to you and say, Jennifer, I need a coffee. I need to offload a few things and I want to feel better. And they come to you because you're energetically aware. They come to you because, in a way, you're a light worker. You may or may not have a certificate behind you, but either way, you've probably got a level of spirituality that somebody else wants to tap into. But likewise, when they leave very regularly, you can feel deflated. You can feel that your energy has been drained. Meanwhile, they're off cartwheeling down rainbows. And the phrase, the phrase is that a problem shared is a problem halved. Well, if they're sharing their problem, where does the half go? So it's important that we understand energy, we understand how it attaches. We, as light workers, as energetic beings, we don't want to take on other people's emotional, energetic frequency. Listening to them, helping them, absolutely. Certainly not saying that. But we don't want to walk away with some extra baggage that we didn't start off with. So it's vitally important that we just have a basic awareness of how energy works. We are magnets to energy because we're energetic beings ourselves. So it's important that we understand the very basics of how that works and how we can enhance it and how we can protect ourselves, our homes, our loved ones in a very simple and a very effective manner. So it's important stuff out there, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just thinking that would make a great quote. I suppose, because people can be very loving and caring and they want to help the other person. Well, actually, what would you suggest if that situation would happen? What would be your suggestions for people to be able to sort of protect their energy or just bring in more light into this? Like, what would be your recommendations so they don't come away with extra baggage that isn't theirs?
Yeah. Well, the first thing, I do protection every morning. I do it every evening. And I do psychic protection every time I work a psychic surgery client or every time I do spirit release therapy. So I take it quite seriously. But very quickly, you can imagine that there is a bubble of energy around you. That bubble of energy is filled with light. That light represents your truth. That light represents your honor. That light represents your soul. We also understand that light extinguishes darkness. So no matter how dark the room, the smallest spark of light will make a positive difference. So if you fill your light, if you fill your bubble with light, you would then totally put the intention in that nothing can step through the bubble, can step in and infiltrate the bubble, and that your bubble of light is more powerful than anything that is not yours. So therefore, any emotion that comes to you from the other person that's there to talk to you, you can listen. It means you can understand, but it also means that you don't take on the vibrational frequency that's being passed to you. So yes, they can offload. Yes, they can go away feeling a whole lot better doing cartwheels, and we'll let that energy go to the universe where the universe knows how to deal with it best. But I'm protected, and I can't have anybody that I work with affect my energy, because then it means that I can't do my next client and give 100% that I demand. So it is important that we understand protection. It's important we understand how easy it is. There are many ways of doing psychic protection. I do a monthly sitting in the power meditation and gatekeeper meditation, and that's all about understanding your own frequency and pulling in your spiritual security guard, your specialist spiritual guide who looks after you. And in that, we sort of discuss many things, but part of it is you can do psychic protection and it could be a ritual for an hour, or you could do psychic protection and it can be done in a split second. Neither is better than the other. And the only one that counts is the one that has your integrity. Because there's no point doing it for an hour unless you bloody mean it. So someone doing it for an hour who doesn't put the same integrity as me doing it for a split second, and my protection will be stronger. And when I do protection, I mean it.
So I love it, and I feel it like steel in your words.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's how it has to be.
Yeah. And I feel like that self-sovereignty, that it's sovereignty.
Yeah.
It's something that I feel has been wheedled out, at least from my experiences. I really had to learn how to be self-assertive. I think the self-esteem, confidence, the healthy boundaries, that's the emotional part, which also translates into the not letting people or things enter your sphere, enter your field. It's like, no, this is my home, this is my palace. I normally have a purple palace, but I've got rainbows today. It's like you can whatever space you're in, you can truly make it sovereign and beautiful and feel peace and beauty in all you do. Like, it's really, and I feel like the beauty aspect, I suppose this is coming from more of the feminine grace side of things, is bringing that beauty, bringing that love, that care, that affection, that love, that nourishing energy is very protective. It's like mother's love, father's love, that beautiful home. There's a real protection. You can really feel it in your home. Home should feel like a peaceful space, and I've also been when it's not. So I totally get the do whatever you can to create that environment where you feel safe at home, where you feel peace in your relationships, where you feel heard and acknowledged. And but that also starts with, you have to take that self-responsibility and action to ensure that happens, and stop expecting someone outside of you to protect you. I feel like that's a small but mighty program that's been put into people to surrender themselves to an external force to look after them. It's like, no, you have to channel the universal pure energy of love through you, and that's what radiates out. It's not anyone else around. You have got to go higher, bring that through, and then that's what you kind of stand in, that love, that light, that presence of, no, this is my space. And that's
absolutely. I think whatever happens, always go higher in energy. And once you realize how easy that is, then it does give you strength, it does give you power. It doesn't matter what your life experience is. As soon as you start understanding your own energy, that will automatically change the dynamics of life. And anything that was previously a conflict to you, anything that was a hurdle, you can start seeing ways around the hurdle. And if you can't see ways around it, perhaps you see a way to smash it. But either way, there is a way going forward where that hurdle is no longer an obstacle. It is something that you can just step over, step through, step round, or smash if need be, because your own energy is unbreakable. And as soon as you understand that, and like your home, your home is your sanctuary, your home should be your sanctuary. And once you take responsibility for your home and you take responsibility for your own energy, that has changed the whole dynamics of life and your path going forward. So it does mean that you can say what you want to say because it's your truth. And if it's your truth, you can never be wrong. It's perfectly acceptable to have a different opinion to somebody else, but it doesn't mean they're right and it doesn't mean you're wrong. So understanding each other's opinions, being acceptable to it, knowing that you also have the right to share that opinion, whether it be right or wrong to them, is immaterial, providing that it's right for you. And sharing your energy, letting your energy glow and be the light. White Hawk always says, his phrase is "be the light," because whatever happens in life, whatever challenge you have, is just be the light and you will see your way through. The light will always be your torch guiding you forward. All you need to do is just steady yourself, center yourself, work with the light, and allow the light to guide you forward, because it will never let you down. It's a very powerful way of working, really.
It's so true. That was what was coming through me when I was going, when I have had challenging times, is it didn't matter what darkness was around me, and I didn't feel I had much of a support system to support me at that time. So what I did was I went up and I brought love, I brought that light down, like from above through me. And that was the way I was able to shift my frequency, to change my energies from being stuck low to be like, I've got to go higher to pull myself up. Like literally it was like that, because nothing around me was really, there wasn't anything as strong as just going direct. And that's the part, that's that reconnecting to what is true, what is truly you. It's so powerful, it's so profound, so simple. But if everyone were to just remember, just go higher, just go above the situation, connect to that light, connect to that love, and it will get better. And keep focusing on that, and focus on what was or what is shady. Keep going higher.
Yeah, I think the thing is, anything spiritually, anything psychic development, spiritual development, I think it all has to be easy. It all has to be simple, because we are spiritual beings. So therefore, whatever spirituality lessons we're taking on is perfectly natural to us. And if we ever get to the stage where what we're learning is difficult or tricky to understand, it means it's the wrong thing. It means that it's not right for us. It should be easy. It should be simple. It should resonate with us. And if you can find a teacher or somebody that inspires you, who has that vibration and makes it that easy for you, then your life will change dramatically very quickly.
Yeah. I've had key souls on my journey that have truly helped me in ways I am eternally grateful for. Andy's one of them as well. And I find like those souls, again, it's like your experiences, they turn into friends because you're resonating at a similar frequency. I mean, if you go backwards, then probably not. But I feel like with this work, you can't ever really go back. Not really. It's like, well, once you see, you can't unsee. Once you know, you can't unknow. So it's like, I'm just got to trust and have faith and keep moving forwards and keep moving upwards, and life gets easier and more peaceful the more we practice. We have to practice peace, basically. inner peace.
Yeah, that's the idea, isn't it? The more we practice the light, the more we're in it. But certainly psychic protection every day is important.
Yeah. Are there any small hints or tips you could also provide for like kind of daily clearing or protection? Are there any gentle?
Yeah, so it's, like I was saying about the bubble, really creating a bubble is just your intention. It can be done visually, it can be done energetically. There are people that will fully understand how to do that very quickly, and there are other people where they just take a little bit more time. But one of the things that, again, my guide White Hawk, he says that we as people, we have habits, and we need to bring that psychic protection into our habit. So whereas in the morning we have a habit of physically cleansing, and we have a habit in the evening of physically cleansing, we wash, we shower, we brush our teeth. And that is the ideal time to bring in your spiritual cleansing as well. So one of the things that I used to do when I was first learning to bring this into a habit was I used to place my toothbrush in different locations in the bathroom. And then I knew that by reaching for my toothbrush in a different location, that whilst I brush my teeth, I do my psychic protection. Some people do psychic protection with a cloak, and they put a big cloak of energy on and zip it up so they're completely like that. Some people put a chainmail on or an armor like a knight. I personally use circles of light, and I have a circle of light around me that is unbreakable. Nobody can step through my energetic light when I work and when I want protection. But the habit is hard to get. So we need to do that for a minimum of 21 days. I do encourage people to go on the website and look for a 21-day course, because the 21 days, if you do something for 21 days in a row, you begin to form a habit. And that's what this is about. So understand, learn from different people. I do the sit in the power meditations. the gatekeeper meditations. They're all on my website when I do it. And they're very easy. They're very cheap to do. And you can record, well, I send out the recordings. You can do it time and time again. And it's all about helping people enhance their energy and protect their energy. Because not only will it protect you, but it will protect your home. It will protect your family, your children, things like that. So it's just understanding that this is an easy concept. It doesn't have to be complicated. Psychic protection is a very, very easy thing. We just need to do it. And the more we do it, the more powerful it is. And the quicker it is. It takes me a split second to do my psychic protection, but the intention behind it is exactly the same. And nobody messes with my psychic protection.
I know what you mean. Like, the more you do it, it is like an instant. I don't know what the best way of. It's not really words. It's just like no.
Yeah. The phrase that we use in the Spirit Release Academy is shields up. When you put your shields up, it's kind of like saying cough to energy that you don't want. And sometimes you need that in life. Sometimes bullies need to be put up to.
Very true. And bullies are just traumatized and hurt anyways. But that's also another conversation for another time.
And there's many conversations for another day. Yeah.
There are. And I can see us having more conversations because it's been lovely speaking with you as well. So
hopefully I've really enjoyed being there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, and you're both, and your beautiful wife as well. She's more than welcome to come on as well. I kind of feel like we'll do the rounds of everyone because it's like friends meeting, basically.
Yeah,
it's like,
well,
I recognize you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a whole network of people that you see, whether it be on social media. It doesn't matter what it is. You're going to resonate with certain individuals. And if you resonate at the same sort of frequency as them, and if you do, when you meet, have a chat and realize really that you're all on the same path and you're both wanting the same things in life, join together, bring that unity in, because in unity you got strength and power. And the more people we have marching forward, that the easier all of our paths will be. It's a very big world out there. We don't need to compete with each other. We don't need to have conflict with other people and things like that. It's absolutely pointless. But to have many friends and many people that you like and be blessed with many people that like you is a huge compliment in life. So I know that Louise, my wife, would love to come on. She's working at the moment. I'm in Terry Towers. I'm in the castle.
Looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it's an absolutely fabulous. It's a fabulous location. It's an absolutely brilliant office to work in. We're very, very lucky. And Louise works just down there, just in one of her units. She's doing some healing for somebody at the moment. But she'd certainly come on and have a chat with you as well. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I love it. I think it's kind of normalizing this as a profession, this is a way of life. It's natural. It's so natural, so simple and effective. And I love it. That's really the aim of it. It's helped benefit me and my family. Sorry?
Yeah. It's one of the most natural things in the world. It's just that we've been closed off to it.
Yes. But now is the time that it is coming back into the world, and in a very receptive way. And more people are waking up, and more people will be seeking answers as to, oh gosh, I feel quite unbalanced. Like, how can I best help myself? And they will want to seek good souls that practice what they preach, that, they say what they do on the, do what they say on the tin, or, whatever the phrase is.
Absolutely. And if anyone is interested, both myself and Andy have got a podcast, series 1. Our first series is out now. We've got 3 episodes out at the moment. That's being released every week, and that's called Sovereign Souls. And that is all about protecting your energy, having a bit of fun with it, and not letting anything kind of infiltrate and give you a hard time. It's about keeping that light.
So I was going to say, go and subscribe. Like, go for Jonno, for Andy, for anyone that comes on this podcast. We need to support each other in our growth, and it helps the algorithm. It helps this message reach more people. So the more that we engage, even just having things on in the background where you're washing up, they all help. It all helps. And if I think it's like a change in the way we think about things. It's not just big companies. I feel that we're now moving into a wave where people will start having their own businesses. They'll start living they'll identify what their purpose is and really start living it. And this is the space where we can all interconnect and support each other, and we all rise together. There's no comparison, there's no competition. It's like, no, we're all here we're all a unit. We're all part of the experience here on Earth. So we'll all
exactly
connect.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. And thank you so much for inviting me on, Jennifer. I really appreciate it. And I hope that we can have a chat another time and go into it in other details.
Absolutely. So do you have any closing words before sharing any links or any upcoming events? Or I know you've mentioned a few things so far.
Yeah. So my website is just along here. So jonnowebster.co.uk. I work in psychic surgery. I work in spirit release therapy. The spirit release therapy that I work is, my reports cover 20 different levels. So it's a very in-depth personal report that we work for you and give out for you. I also teach psychic surgery. I also teach spirit release therapy through the Spirit Release Academy. That is done in person here at Terry Towers in the castle, or we do it online as well. So either way, it is about spreading the word. It is about empowering people to go out and do the work, because exactly as White Hawk says, like I said earlier, it doesn't matter how dark the room, the smallest spark of light makes changes. And it's all about bringing people in who have that confidence to step into that light, and then utilizing that light, which not only will be life-changing for them, but life-changing for everybody around them as well. And if we can all do that, the dynamics in the world will change.
Love it. Thank you. It's been a real pleasure, and I know that this information will reach those that need it the most, and will inspire them to take whatever actions that they need to take, and to live a happier, healthier, sovereign life. So
sovereign. You need a sovereign soul.
Yeah, sovereign soul. Beautiful. All right.
Thank
you so
Jennifer.
much. Yeah.
Thank you.
And for anyone else that is looking to tap into past life or future visioning as to what's on your next best steps, those are my areas of specialties. I love to bridge the gap between healing and building your dream business, your dreams into reality. And if you're interested, go check out my website, 108healingsenses.com, and you can find me on all the socials at 108healingsenses. So that's me for now. And next week, I can't remember who we've got on, but it will be on a Wednesday as well. So be sure to drop comments. What do you want to see next? How has this episode helped you? And what do you feel inspired to take action for next? Let's get the conversation going and share it with people that you love and you want to see happier, healthier, and more fulfilled and sovereign. So be sure to share. Thank you so much. Yeah. And yes, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.